Good afternoon to all my wonderful students and to your parents, but especially good afternoon to my seniors who today are taking the next step on the never ending path of growing up. And I say growing up is a never ending path because even at 40, I'm finding new responsibilities and joys that come along only by getting older and continuing down the path of growing up. When I first decided to stop practicing law and make the leap over to teaching math, I sort of knew what I was getting into, but I knew that there was going to be a lot of learning that I would have to do along the way as well. And at the beginning of the year, I told you all that I was going to make a lot of mistakes when teaching you all. And I am sad to say I lived up to that promise. But you all took it in such great stride with a level of generosity of heart that should make your parents proud. And the kindness that I have seen from you every single day is inspiring and is what made me love coming into work each day to see all of you. And as we look back on this past year, on this crazy year, there's four lessons that I hope you took from being part of my class. And you're going to notice these four lessons have absolutely nothing to do with square roots or finding geometric proofs. The first lesson is the first two rules of our class, and that's mistakes are going to be inevitable. You're going to make them, but you're going to learn a lot from them. And because you're going to learn a lot from them, I want you not to fear making mistakes. Only mistakes are going to make you a better person. They provide invaluable opportunities to learn and grow as a person. And if you're not making mistakes, you're not challenging yourself nearly enough, and you're not going to meet your potential. And one of the things as you grow older is that your mistakes are going to turn into regrets. And it's okay to have regrets, just like it's okay to make mistakes. But I don't want you to let them control you because every mistake that we make along the way is part of what makes us who we are when we grow up. My second lesson is related to the first one of making mistakes, and that's I want you to question everything. It's closely related to making mistakes because you have to ask questions to understand why you made the mistakes and how to avoid to make those same mistakes again. Like I've always said, don't make the same mistake twice. Try to make entirely new mistakes the second time. And asking questions, you may think it makes you look dumb or weak, and the opposite is true. It makes you look like you care and that you're trying to think things through. So I want you to ask questions until an idea makes sense to you. And then I want you to ask more questions after that to make sure what you think is correct is actually correct. Only through asking questions can we get this knowledge. And then when you see something that you think is wrong or unjust about the world, continue to ask questions. Ask questions of people until either what you think is wrong starts to make sense to you, or the people who are telling you this thing that you think is wrong, this thing that you think is unjust, begin to start seeing it from your perspective and to start questioning whether or not what they are proposing is actually right. Questions are powerful tools that can change the world. So go use them and use them often. Third lesson, whenever you are given the opportunity to be kind to others, take it. Kindness, compassion, empathy are incredibly powerful tools that we can use to make the world a better place. And they don't cost us anything at all to use them. Remember, as a class, we were always at our best when everybody understood the material. And we only all understood the material when we worked together on it. And that required acts of kindness, small acts of kindness between students to help them understand. And acts of kindness, both big and small, can have untold benefits for people you love, for people you've just met, and then for yourselves. You feel good when you try to be kind to others. Okay? Finally, I want you to find something that you're passionate about and share that passion with other people. When I was first applying for this job, I had a conversation with Dr. Azell. He asked me, why did I make the leap from math or from being a lawyer to math? It didn't make much sense to him. And I told him, when I thought back to the important people in my life, the people when growing up who most to me, other than my parents, it was my math teachers. And they were important to me because they were the people who taught me that it is okay to get excited about things that maybe other people aren't excited. It is okay to be a geek, and that you shouldn't hide your geekiness. That is a extreme benefit to be that passionate about something and want to share it with others. And I know that for most of you, math, science, or Star Wars is not going to be the thing that you're going to be passionate about. Okay? That's my passion, that's my geekiness, and I love sharing it with you. But find what is going to be your area of geek. The arts, music, sports, politics, finance, million other things you can be passionate about, that you can find your inner geek about. Find it and share that passion with the world. Now, for my wonderful seniors, I want to leave you with two pieces of advice as you leave the confines of BRHS and go out into that great big world. My first piece of advice is do things that make you uncomfortable or you're uncertain about. You only grow by taking chances. And if you always feel comfortable about the things that you're doing, you are not taking enough chances. Okay? So, take a class in a subject area that you've never studied. Go live in another state or another country. Experience how other people live. I'm telling you, in the middle of this country, the Midwest, it is different than how it is in the Northeast here. And just living there for a few months will change how you see the rest of the country. Going other countries will change how you see how life can be lived. You know, ask someone else that you feel is completely out of your league. Talk to random people who are in your classes when you go to college, or who live in your neighborhood, or who are just at the store and they look like they might be interested. You never know what can come of these opportunities. And it might not feel comfortable at first, but taking that chance can be so empowering. These things can profoundly change your life for the better. So go for it. And if it doesn't work out, if you don't like what happens, there's always people here at home, your parents, me, your other teachers, who are going to be there to help you get back to a place where you want to be. So don't be afraid of taking those chances. Second, I want you to go out and change the world. And I know that this is no small task. But what I really want you to keep in mind is, if you're going to go out and change the world, you don't need to ask permission first. Okay? There's going to be at least something in this world that you don't like how it works. Probably many, many things. And if I've learned anything over this past year, is that you guys have this ability to change those things for the better. But you're going to have to go out. You're going to have to figure out why it's a problem. You're going to have to figure out how to solve that problem. You're going to have to find people who are going to be able to help you solve that problem together. And when I say don't ask permission, what I'm saying is, don't ask us olds if it's okay for you to do what you want to do. Talk to us, learn from us, involve us in the conversation, but we don't have all the answers all the time. One of My favorite lyrics is from a song by Tim Minchin called White Wine in the Sun. And the lyric is this: just because ideas are tenacious doesn't mean that they're worth it. Just because somebody has believed something for a long time doesn't mean that a new line of thinking can't come along and be better about it. Conventional wisdom is often not wise, it's just convention. So go out there, be the change you wish to see in this world. Finally, when we started this year, I don't think any of us could have seen that this was how we were going to finish it. Being apart like this together. We have spent at this point a third of the school year learning through distance learning, talking to each other through webcams, learning through Edpuzzle and through Google Classroom. And it's not the same as being together. In person, there's just power in learning that way. And for some of you, you excelled. You did great. This was the best marking period that you had. But I feel for most of you, it just wasn't the same. It posed considerable challenges to so many of you. It posed considerable challenges to me. But either way that it came at you, I was blown away by how you all rose up to this challenge and conquered something that none of us were prepared for. And as we approach today to this graduation day, most of the focus out in the world has been on what our seniors and what our students have missed as a result of COVID. Prom or an in-person graduation or big graduation parties or spring sports and class trips. I get that. I feel it too. I miss how this was going to be my first year to see you guys all off, and now we have to do it long distance. I feel that sense of loss, and it is right to feel that loss. But at the same time, let's take a different tact. It's not just things that you've lost, but you've given so much by doing this distance learning. And I want you to focus on that. Focus on what you've given over the last 3 months, right? Focus on the countless lives that all of us staying at home has saved in the last 3 months. Scientists have looked at it and they've said all of the things that we've done to fight COVID have prevented millions of Americans from getting the disease and prevented hundreds of thousands of people from dying from it unnecessarily, right? That's hundreds of thousands of families who get to spend more time with their loved ones. Right? Hundreds of thousands of families who don't have to feel the grief of losing someone at this time. So your actions collectively, as my classes, as a school, have given the rest of people's lives to them and to their families. And that's an act of love that is incredible. And we don't talk about it enough. So yes, it is more than okay to grieve what you've lost, but celebrate what you've given other people. Be proud of that. Remember those people and what you've given them so much. And now I want you to know that no matter that we're not here together, you guys are going to be in my hearts forever. And I will be here to support you in the future however you need to. I'm always going to be here. So go celebrate, be proud of your achievements. For my seniors, I wish you well in whatever the world may bring you after this. And for my underclassmen, I look forward to seeing you at some point next year when we get back into school. And it's purple. So may the force be with you always. I love you guys.